Find the domain of h of x equals f of x divided by g of x for the given functions. And we already said h of x is 3 over 4x to the 1/2. So what's the domain of this guy? Well, remember, x to the 1/2 is the same thing as the square root. And if it's helpful, you can write it this way. It's the exact same thing, just different notation. And remember, we cannot have a negative number for a square root. So that means all negative real numbers are not valid for this function. And typically we would say that x is an element of the real numbers such that x is greater than or equal to 0 as our way of noting that. Well, what if you have a 0 in here? You'd have 3 divided by 4 times 0, and that'd be 3 divided by 0, which is also undefined. So 0 doesn't work either. So we have to be a little more specific. X is an element of the real numbers such that x is greater than 0. And you can graph this function if you would like. So it's 3 divided by, and I'm going to use parentheses here, 4x to the 0.5 or 1/2 power. I'll just put 0.5. Okay, that's an interesting looking graph. Let's look at the table. And notice here all the negative numbers result in error, which means they're undefined. And so does 0. But notice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, those are all valid. And that shows you the difference that 0 is not a valid input in this case. Okay, so here's our domain. X is an element of the real numbers such that x is greater than 0.